You know, this is still a land of wonders and a land of dreams. You know, I get tired of people who bash on America all the time and try to say how we're the cause of so many problems. If we're so bad, why are so many people trying to get in here and nobody trying to escape? You know? I don't think so. And I absolutely 100% refuse to submit to the PC police. And I hope that you will do the same thing. They can keep you from talking about important issues, and they can simply change it without a discussion, then they're way ahead of the game. And they don't even care if you don't agree with them, as long as you sit down and shut your mouth. And we have to stop sitting down and shutting our mouth. I'm always interested in people who say, well, you can't run for president, because, what experience do you have? I've lived. That's great experience. I've lived in the world. A lot of people on the left, they say about me that I'm mean and that I'm heartless. And they say that Carson wants to withdraw all the welfare programs from people, even though he was poor and he must have benefited from some government programs. Well, there's a word for that. Lie. It's a big lie. I have no desire whatsoever to withdraw the safety nets from the people in our society who need them. What I have a desire to do is provide a ladder of opportunity so that people in the lower rungs of our society can climb up and become part of the fabric of America. Right down in the desk in front of me. I said, the Lord is good. And as the teacher approached, I started irritating her. I pushed the last button, but she didn't explode. She just quietly turned around, and she said, you and me on the playground at recess. So that didn't work out all that well. I became a brain surgeon, and she became a professional wrestler. She had faith that he would answer her prayer, and he did. He gave her the wisdom, at least in her opinion. My brother and I didn't think it was all that wise. Turning off the TV, what kind of wisdom is that? As far as we were concerned, that was child abuse. But to make matters worse, she said we had to read 2 books apiece from the Detroit Public Library every single week and submit to her written book reports, which she couldn't read, but we didn't know that. And she would put the check marks and highlights and underlines. And Thomas Jefferson said it is immoral to pass on debt to the next generation. If we could somehow, through a time machine, bring him here today, he would immediately stroke out. He would not be able to believe politicians don't talk about it. But I'm not a politician, so I will talk about it. What the fiscal gap is the amount of unfunded liabilities that our government owes. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, all the governmental programs, the cabinet department programs, all the agency and sub-agencies, there's 645 of them. All of these programs, all the money that we owe versus the amount of money we expect to take in terms of revenues from taxes and other sources. Those two numbers should be virtually identical if we were fiscally responsible. This country has the most powerful economic engine the world has ever known. Get rid of all those unnecessary regulations and get a taxation system that encourages entrepreneurial risk-taking and capital investment. That's how we drive that economic engine.